Like, if they were left like that, there was no way you were just going to see it.
No,
Did you ever get that second to last one, like on the right a little bit?
Oh, it's
The
big.
thing was dirty. Yeah, it was still there
Well, I was
today.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I was going 3, 4, 4 yesterday. But it was fucking like 2 hours.
Yeah, I told him.
Yeah.
I told him, like,
I do need
guys
that.
get, like, not that they're like, we're getting doing fine, but we're pushing so hard. If we fuck up and pace it, we don't have the suspension to, like, soak it up, and that's just going to go straight frame and cause so much shit. I'm like, at least just, I told, trying to put together, like, the 10 Commandments of these
I
guys.
actually liked them. I mean, they were like super positive.
They were better today. I tell them, like, at least try and make it like maybe like the 10 Commandments of the Reddit or something.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and get started with our post-race press conference. This has been round 25 of the Super Motocross World Championship. We'll start with your 450 class, followed by 250s. Your race winner, Chase Sexton, followed by Jet Lawrence and Eli Tomac. So if you could, please state your name and affiliation before you ask your question. And we do have ample time for follow-ups today, so please feel free to take your time. We'll start out with questions from the media.
Justin Schuler with Transworld Motocross. Chase, you win the first moto, you win the overall. You kind of had a fist pump at both of them. Which one meant more to you, winning that first moto or the overall?
I don't know. I mean, the first one, it was nice to just get a moto win, and I mean, I knew the job was far from done. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, winning the overall felt better. Obviously, it would have been unfortunate to come out here and not win after winning the first moto. So, but I don't know. Yeah, it was nice to get a win, and it's been a while since I've won a race. It's been since Salt Lake City, so it's just nice and kind of get that monkey off my back and go into the break and try and get better. I still got a few things I can get better on and get a little more speed. I was better today with speed-wise, even in qualifying, but there's still a little bit of room to get better. So I'm just happy to click off a win and go into the break and make some improvements.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now. Eli, big improvement this weekend compared to last weekend. What's the difference?
Yeah, just different setup. Straight up. So different setup. Found something that I was really comfortable on and was in the same zone as these guys, like same zip code. Was able to see them, so that was nice.
Is that a situation where you had maybe strayed away from a setup that was working earlier in the season?
Yeah. So what happened at Millville is before that I went and did some testing, and yeah, it's like it's on me. I'm like, hey, I think the bike's better, and then I take it to the race, and it was not better. So, I mean, I take responsibility for that, for telling the guys, and of course, it looked faster, like on the clock and stuff and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, it's better, and then it didn't work in a race environment. So it was unfortunate, but I feel like now that I was able to make some improvements from what I was racing earlier in the season. So I'm excited for the last couple.
Michael Antonovich with Course Heading. This will be for you, Jet. This was an NBC show today, so they hyped up a lot your overall streak that had been going on. And then, you not really gelling with this track like you mentioned on the podium. To lose the overall streak like you did, is that pressure off you now? Does it feel like, oh, this is good because it's not anybody talking about it anymore? Is it a little bit defeating, or is it a new goal? Like, how do you go through that, especially after the day started with you sliding out?
That's why I lost. They jinxed me. No, it's I knew Chase and Eli have been really good here. Obviously, I watched them in 22 and obviously 23. Last time I was here, Chase was on my ass the entire time and fast. So I knew this is my worst track of the circuit, and I just had to try and rely on my starts. And I got a bit screwed in the first one by the Spanish mate, but and then the second one, I was able to kind of wiggle my way back in the second. I was a bit slow on the jump. So, but, no, it was, it's not an overall, but I'm still happy with second, I mean, Chase rides really well here. He was fast that first one. I just kind of tried asking for too much. And then once I got up, I tried getting into a flow again. And I wasted two laps where Eli was already gone, and like he was riding fast. So it was just trying to get that flow and try to pull in, and then I'd pull him in a bit, then would hit lappers gnarly, and then yeah, I mean, I've had a really good run. I mean, you can't always win everything, and winning always comes to an end at some stage. So I'm still happy with a second, and be able to rebound for at least for the second moto and get a race win.
Okay. If I could get all three of you to answer in the order that you finished, this was a great day. To just see the excitement of the first moto of how everything happened, the tension in those early laps of the second moto, the chaos of the restart, and then how that regrouped after that. Can you take me through how that goes for you guys, just being in the moment today, kind of getting a curveball thrown at you, regrouping, and going about it just through the day?
Yeah, well, first moto I didn't really eat any roost. It was nice being out front for once. Second moto I ate a lot of roost for the first few laps, and I didn't like it at all. I ended up getting around Hunter, and then I got back to the start line, and they said, "Oh, you're in third," and I'm like, "Oh, that's not good. I got to pass him again." So I don't know. This track is really hard to follow somebody just because you don't want to sit there in their wheel because it's like getting hit with a paintball gun for 30 minutes. So it's a little bit, you have to be a little more creative and kind of plan your attacks and try and execute where you're faster. But yeah, first few laps of the first start was pretty hectic. Jet and I had a pretty good battle going, and then yeah, obviously that guy went down, which I hope he's okay because that's a pretty fast area. But yeah, the restart was wild. I kind of jumped the gate, and it was, I think it's better than a staggered though.
On the restart, I was just surprised Starling didn't get clipped. That was the biggest thing. I thought he was going to get smoked at one stage. But no, it was, like Chase said, the first moto was really good. Like, he had a high intensity and we both were pushing hard, and we had a good battle going, and even in the second one as well. And it was fun, you know, like, it's always good to have, obviously, winning by a large margin is always great, but then having really good battles is also fun, you know, like, where this track's pretty one line, but, like, you can kind of get a little creative, especially when it's not so many, like, certain ruts that you have to hit, you know, so it creates some fun racing every now and then. But yeah, like Chase said, I hope that guy's obviously okay after his whoops, because they were watered pretty wet in the second one. They were slick. But yeah, I kind of forgot what the question mainly was about, but I should have gone off the Chases.
I mean, I ate plenty of roost today, and in the first moto, I had a rock hit me before the big triple, and I'm like, that may have just broke my collarbone. It was bad. I'm not sure I forget who was in front of me, whether it be Chase or Jet. But yeah, first moto was good there, and then that restart was tough. You just don't know when you're going to go, and you try and stay in the zone and whatnot, so it's hard. And with that being said, it is a little bit sketchy, like with how the AMA guy runs across the start, but for the restart itself, I do like it more than the staggered straight line. Just my opinion on that. So yeah.
Aaron Hans with Racer X. This is for Chase. Chase, in that second moto, you were attacking at first, but then it seemed like you settled in. Was that a conscious decision to settle in to make sure you brought it home for the overall?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good pace going, and obviously Eli was right there, so I didn't really have any room to kind of back off. And then Jet started upping the pace, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and go with him and just see what we can do. And then we started to get a little gap, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, especially on this track when you're going up against somebody as good as him, like, it's going to be hard to even think of a place to make a pass. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just kind of cruise back and try and bring it home. It'd be stupid to. I've done that once this year in Dallas, trying to go for a win when I didn't need to, and made myself look like an idiot. So I'm like, yeah, today I'm probably not going to try and do that.
Obviously, you come back with the goal of winning, which you did today. Would you say either on schedule, ahead of schedule, behind schedule?
I would say like this track I do enjoy. I think it's unique, and I would say I'm a little bit of ahead of schedule. I mean, last week I got beat by 48 seconds second moto, so now I feel like that was a pretty big bridge to gap. But I knew coming in here, I made a lot of bike changes this week with the whole rear end of my bike, and they were quite a bit better. I had a really good day on Wednesday, and I'm like, okay, like kind of getting back to where I feel like I can compete for at least a race win. But yeah, I feel like I'm a little ahead of schedule. I mean, my whole goal is to get myself to where I feel like I'm ready to go after the SMX, and that's kind of why I came back when I did. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a little ahead of schedule, but again, at any time, there's so many good guys that when you feel like you're on, you kind of have to make it work. So I feel like that was today.
My last question is for Eli. I don't even know if you're how specific you'll be able to get, but you mentioned bike problems and moving in different directions with the bike. I'm curious as to kind of what specifically you're dealing with, if you're even able to get into that.
I was changing the fork and the shock, so really it was like wholesale bike changes to try to just find a different feel. That's what happened before Millville and whatnot. So we were taking some serious swings at motorcycle setup and trying to be better.
Andrew Ruggiero, Moto Now. Chase, with most of your teammates or all of your teammates out this week, did you feel like there was any extra pressure on you to perform, or is it just business as usual?
I don't know. Yesterday, I'm just sitting over there with my man. We got a lot of riding on tomorrow because there's 2 semis here for one guy, and if I don't perform, we're probably going to lose a lot of money. So I don't know. I honestly told him this week, I'm like, hey, let's just bring the van, and I have a motorhome for myself. I'm like, we could just put an easy up on the side of that and just put out of there, but they wanted to bring both semis, and everyone was here for me today, and it was actually good because Tom's mechanic Pedro helped me today with a lot of video and stuff, just to be able to see what's going on with the bike and how I'm riding and stuff like that. And there was just a lot of extra help, and I feel like it actually it worked for me today. So it was nice to kind of go out there and at least perform and get a win. If I would have been off the podium, I feel like I would have just went home with my tail between my legs. So I don't know. It was nice, but also I do miss my teammates.
Josh Mosman, Motocross Action Magazine. Congratulations, all 3 of you guys, back on the podium for Eli, back on top for Chase, and Jet, awesome ride. I was out there with you guys, so I experienced the track, but what was it like from your guys' eyes, comparing it? I'd like to get all 3 of your answers, comparing this to past Washougals and also comparing it to the last 3 tracks that you rode. Millville, Redbud, Southwick, softer dirt, bigger bumps, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought of the track today, the condition-wise, and also how nice was it to have lower temperatures and then extra 2 weekends off coming after this.
I really enjoyed the track today. I feel like they've brought in a lot of new soil, and for this place, I thought it was a good track. Like I always love the up and down hills. Some of those fast ski jumps and whatnot. Of course, the shadows are tough, but overall, I thought it was a nice Washougal, and I'm sure the weather helped that.
It's a pretty cool scenic track for sure, for photos and stuff like that. I think, I prefer a little bit deeper soil, I think, with stuff where you can get a little more creative with bumps and stuff like that. But, it's still a fairly fun track. Like Eli said, you kind of struggle with the shadows and stuff like that, but you kind of squint your eyes and pray that there's not a hole there. But no, it was fun track today. Obviously, the new step up was pretty fun. At least it wasn't that wall jump that you'd have to hit and just plonk down. But no, it was still all around good day because it's just different kind of racing with not having as many ruts.
For me, I feel like this morning it was just the dirt. I feel like yesterday was it was, I guess, a little more tacky than I felt like it was in years past. And then today it didn't have a lot of water on it in practice, and it was like a rail everywhere, which was fun. But I like this track. I think it's fun. I think it's unique. It's a lot of the tracks I feel like now are kind of going. They're all coming together and kind of they're all pretty similar. I feel like. And this one does really stand out, especially with all the trees and stuff like that. So for me, it is nice. I wouldn't want to race on it every weekend just because it's a lot different. And it's more of kind of a road race style track where it's not as rough and you can't be as creative, but it's just different. And it's cool to have that, something different to ride. So for me, I wish they would have not built up the downhill or the drop off going into the switchback, because that thing was, if you would have got throttle lock up that thing, the fans were in serious trouble. So thank God no one did that today. And otherwise, the triple was cool, but that drop down was a little bit too big for my liking.
Eli, congratulations. Third place, back on the podium. Just 50 feet away, you talked about yesterday, I need to get back on the podium. So what does that mean to you to be back up here? And then for the 3 of you guys, what are the plans for 2 weekends off? Are we taking some time off to let the bodies recover? Everybody's talking about getting sick, traveling. So are we taking extra time off, or is it back to the grind for the 3 of you guys?
For me, last week I wasn't close. It's like I was lost myself. So it's back to kind of usual for me, so that's nice. Weekend off, I don't know. I'll probably go chase cows or something.
Yeah, no, the break's going to be nice for sure. I'm excited because I have some golf stuff that I have planned to hopefully kind of venture off into that world a little bit. And then just doing some testing again, trying to obviously fine-tune myself and the bike. You're always trying to look to be better. But, no, looking forward to the break.
Yeah, it's nice to have a break. I mean, I have only raced, I think this is my third race in a row, so these guys have been racing a little longer than me this summer. But for me, going to take some time off. Probably going to go see Coldplay next weekend in Miami, which I'm excited about. And then probably go to Loretta's for a day. But, yeah, there's not much going on, just kind of golfing, hanging out. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably start riding SMX, try and get a little bit of a head start. But, yeah, just some stuff that we don't normally get to do, and try and enjoy it a little bit.
That's all we have time for our 450 podium. Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations. Chase Sexton, Jet Lawrence, Eli Tomac. And as we wait for our 250 riders to approach the lectern, I would like to mention that Pro Motocross, in partnership with St. Jude, we are offering that limited edition patriotic Love Moto Stop Cancer shirt that is going to be available for the remainder of the outdoor season. And it's all yours if you sign up to be a monthly donor and you contribute at least $19 a month. So to donate, you know the deal. It is text SUPER to 785-833. In addition, we're starting to talk more playoffs, so mark your calendars. September 6th, Playoff 1, Concord, North Carolina. Playoff 2, the Dome at America Center in St. Louis, Missouri. September 13th, and the finale, September 20th, at the drag strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And those tickets and experiences and more information are available now at supermotocross.com. And without further ado, let's bring them on up. Joe Shimoda, Hayden Deegan, Garrett Marchbanks. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it, and we will hear from Hayden Deegan as soon as he arrives. But not to keep you guys waiting, Joe Shimoda, congratulations. Last time I spoke to you after your win at Redbud, you said you've been sticking to the same plan. It's worked, but I know the team came down to Florida this last week and made some good progress. How much of that was a factor to today's win?
Well, when team came to Florida, it was right after Southwick, actually. I went there one day to Dog Pound, worked on the starts. But other than that, same thing. Super stoked.
Congratulations. We'll open it up to questions from the media.
All right, Michael Antonovich with Course Heading. This will be for you, Garrett. In the Mule with Mitch, you said 6 years, something to that effect. Really happy to give that to him. Can you just talk about how this feels? Because they mentioned on TV today, you've only had one podium in your career, then you have this today, and then after everything else that's been happening for you in the peripheral lately, how good does this feel?
It definitely feels great. I mean, through my whole outdoor career, I've never had a overall podium. I've never had a moto podium until basically Thunder Valley this year. So, I mean, I've always been super close, but to come back to the team, put it all together, start working with Tickle, it's just, I put in a lot of hard work since basically Texas, Arlington. So it feels super good to show all the hard work I've been doing is finally paying off. I wish it obviously would have happened way sooner in my career, but no, it feels great to finally get done for them, especially for them to give me another chance. Super thankful for that. I know I've said that time and time again, but yeah, no, I'm happy to do it for them, and yeah, and for myself.
Scott Yarja, Moto Now. Hayden, in that second moto, obviously you saw Joe get the whole shot right away and pull away. Were you trying to gauge yourself off of him, thinking that you wanted to maybe apply pressure for the overall win, or were you kind of settled for a second as soon as you kind of got up there?
After a few laps, I was just struggling with bike setup, and I was just like, it's not worth pushing. I'm here to win championships, right? So I was like, the best I could probably do in this moto today is get to second. So I put my head down and just, dug to second. I think Joe's literally two sections ahead, so I was like, it ain't even worth it. Tied on points today, so it was chilling.
And then Joe, this win compared to your win in Redbud, obviously Hayden had some problems in Redbud. Now you're facing like a healthier Hayden, and you get the overall. Like, how does this feel? How does this stack up?
I mean, win is a win, right? Like, it doesn't matter like who's in second. I think I was just trying to focus to win the moto, and yeah, same win for me.
Congratulations to all three of you guys. Josh Mosman from Motocross Action. Joe, can you talk a little bit about what changed on the bike? I heard maybe some gearing, transmission. What was different for you after the Honda team came and tested with you for starts?
Nothing major change. Just we really did one tuning, like just one time. It was on point, and I haven't touched since after Southwick.
That's cool. And you've talked publicly about figuring out your plans for next year. How good does it feel to put Honda on top, and what does this make you think about for 2026?
Well, I haven't signed for any deals yet, but I mean, I'm riding really good right now, so yeah.
Pretty awesome to see, man. You've come a long way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And for Garrett Marchbanks, congratulations up on the podium. To shift the conversation a little bit, you knew Aiden Zing really well. We lost him a couple weeks ago, and a lot of teams and a lot of guys are running the AZ39 stickers on the bikes, and you knew him better than a lot of people. You got to train with him, with Brock Tickle, and can you talk a little bit about your experience working with Aiden and working with Brock Tickle, what it was like to have him around at the tracks with you and the last few months, and then kind of what it means, for you to wear the AZ39 and keep pressing forward with an awesome ride like this?
No, I definitely think of the kid all the time. I mean, Aiden was such a great kid. Nicest human being I've ever met in my life. Especially when I'm out there motoing down, if I'm having a bad day or, getting tired, I think of the guy. I knew he would always push harder. He always had a smile on his face. And if I was having a bad day, he helped me out and vice versa. And, I mean, train with him from day one. Great kid, definitely shy. I think he was starstruck to train with me and Brock. And for me, I always knew I never really had a lot of people around me growing up to help me out through my career. I definitely struggled with that and wish I had a little bit more guidance in my life. And I definitely wanted to just help him with that, with dad stuff, amateur dads, all that. And no, he definitely was a great kid to work with. Amazing human being. It was fun times to cycle with him, moto down, and even though he would get pretty mad half the time, it was pretty cool to watch the progress he made from day one to his last days with me, and it was very amazing, and I'm very thankful to have trained with him and get to know his family so well. I still go visit them, and such an amazing family, and I'm very sorry for their loss. And awesome. It hurts me a lot.
Yeah. Well, awesome to see you up here on the podium and representing for him. My last question for the three of you guys. This track was unique, especially compared to the last three tracks you guys rode, a little softer soil, Redbud, Millville, Southwick. I asked the same of the 450 guys. What is this track? How does it rank on the roughness scale compared to the softer tracks that we just rode? And then also, I think most of you guys rode pressed yesterday. I know Hayden did. So the whoops were a lot gnarlier yesterday than they were today. So how were the whoops today? And where did this track rank on like difficulty versus the past few tracks you guys have been riding?
Yeah, I feel like for me, I think each one's different. Southwick is all sand, gets pretty whooped out, gnarly. Millville, Redbud are kind of similar in a way. I would say Redbud's more deep, gets pretty rough, same thing, whooped out. Here, I feel like it's a different type of tire. You get more tired because the track's so dang choppy, and it gets rough in areas, but I feel like the chop definitely for me wears me out more than, say, Redbud. You have to have a special type of flow on this track, not get tired out here. But for me, this was the best I felt out of the last 4 rounds. Super pumped with that. Was struggling with some things with myself, so to finally figure it out a little bit, I was pumped with that. But this was probably by far my least favorite track on the circuit for a lot of years, so I was happy to finally turn around and get a podium on this one. So definitely a lot of fun.
For me, I think the track is really narrow in one line. It's not I think you don't really have an option to go anywhere. You have to stick with it, kind of. and like especially coming down the hill after the drop, the left right. Yeah, you can't really do anything about it. You just kind of follow. So very rough though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like Joe said, it's quite narrow. A little hard to pass if you don't get a great start, which, I mean, makes it unique. Keeps you on your toes. And, yeah, I'm not exactly sure why they took those whoops out. Probably someone at a team complaining the same way they did at Ironman, take my jump out. But anyways, it's cool. Made for some good racing because people were blitzing and stuff, and doing that on outdoor suspension isn't always the easiest.
Aaron Hansel with Racer X. Joe, early aggression was really good today, especially in the second moto. I'm just wondering if there's anything in the past week or recently, or just in general, that you're doing to try and really improve that early aggression in races.
I don't know. During the week, I try to put down some sprint fast pace, but yeah, I'm trying to, find a better line early laps, which Hayden's really good at actually, and yeah, I really need to look around and have better lines, I guess.
Garrett, you almost got Hammaker at the end of that second moto. Did he respond, or did you back it off, knowing you had the podium?
I definitely tried to fight for it at the end. I think it was 2 or 3 laps ago. I tried to make a move. Had a pretty close one in the back. After that, I was like, you know what? I have the podium. It's my first one. I don't want to be an idiot and try to, send it for third. I know it sounds kind of bad, but for me, I haven't been this close in a long time. So for me, it was kind of just, take the small wins like today and, yeah, build from it. So, yeah, I just kind of mellowed out the last lap and a half and let him have it, kind of. I wouldn't say I let him have it. He was riding great. So for me, I just, backed it off a little bit.
There's been a lot of talk about how many guys you've passed just because of the starts, and I know it's not a stat you like, but I am wondering, passing all those guys, has it helped you has it made you a better passer and helped when you need to make decisive passes quickly?
I mean, I've been like that sadly through my whole career. I've been a terrible starter. I've always just been a super big kid, no matter what bike I've been on. I was known for that as an amateur all the way to the pros. Supercross has only been the only one I could kind of start somewhat well on because everything's not, ripped super deep. So hopefully one day I could figure it out and just start up front so I'm not passing guys all the time.
Andrea Ruggiero, Moto Now. Joe, been hearing that you have a new nickname, Wasabi Joe. Do you feel like that kind of accurately describes you? Who coined it as well?
I don't know. Is it?
They kept mentioning it on the broadcast. So.
Like little spicy, like.
Justin Schuler, Trans World Motocross. Someone asked this in the 450 podium, so I'll ask it with you guys. 2 weekends off. What's the plan? So you guys resting up, more training. What's your primary focus?
I don't know. I don't really have a plan yet, but probably go ride a day or two this coming week. Thursday, go drive my truck all the way back to Utah, go do some bass fishing with some friends. I don't know, maybe take 5, 6, 7 days off and then get back after it. I don't know. It'd be nice to go home, go scout some elk or something and some deer and go do some bass fishing. Do the things I love. Maybe shoot my new bow that Cam Haynes gave me. I'd love to do that.
My sister came to Florida with me and she wants to go to Disneyland. Which I'm trying not to, so, yeah.
Yeah, I just think, keep getting this leg back to 100%. And then, obviously, these last 2 weeks I haven't really been able to do any motos. Like, I've kind of had to chill out and keep the leg healthy for the weekend. So, now that it's getting better, it'd be nice to get back to my normal routine, get the pace back up. And, so kind of just go back to work and get everything healed up and right for when we come back racing.
Hayden, question for you. You had mentioned after that first moto that you need to live up to that family name and your own reputation. That was in regards to pushing through that pain that you're experiencing. Was that at all a factor in the second moto? Is that something that amplifies throughout the day?
Yeah, definitely. I have to, live up to the last name. My dad's done a lot of stuff on some broken bones, so I don't know. I just had to be tough, and yeah, second moto. I mean, I think even from the start, I struggled, fell into the sixth place kind of pace where I was stuck for about a lap, and it kind of messed me up. And by the time I got into second, Joe was already two sections ahead. So I think that was more of my fault not getting a great start. Actually didn't have a bad start. I got cut off a little bit, but yeah, but we're chilling.
Way to push through it. Last call, questions for our 250 top 3. No? All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Congratulations, Joe Shimoda, Hayden Zegan, Garrett Marchbanks. We'll see you in Ironman 3 weeks from today, August 9th. Not only 250 and 450 class, but round 4 of 6 for WMX reconvenes. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. This has been round 25, the Flag Racing Washougal National, presented by Peterson Cat.